Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a gentleman here. I met him in Toronto, coming to me on Flemington Park. That was the first appearance I see of this gentleman. And he have had history here now of being around administrations. So right now, he seemed to do the leadership in one of the organizations that I'm going to cover. And I sought him out, and this would be the first. We're making it the first now of 3 parts, as you would see as we progress. So I would ask you to introduce yourself and let the people know where you're from, how you get into the sport, and how you got into the administration. And I would interject as I see fit.
Mr. McGill, again, I'm humbled by the opportunity that has presented me to be able to be here with you and your viewing public. My name is Ricky Nedd. I was originally born in Mason Hall, Tobago. And the question of how I start into soccer is an interesting one. Actually, I started at a young age in primary school in Mason Hall Government School. And I started playing with the older guys in our village team named Invaders Sports Club. And I started as a goalkeeper. And we were in the Tobago League. And there's a couple of teams in there that I remember off the top of my head. Stokely Vale, Tobago United, Revels, and I think Canaan Bonaco United or something like that. But that's where I started as a goalkeeper. And over the couple of years that I played there, I got more interested in the game coming out to being a forward. So I migrated to Trinidad at an early age, about 14, 15. And I started playing soccer in Trinidad and working and stuff like that. And I got involved with Challengers Soccer Club.
And for the public,
and
that's in
Barataria.
Yeah.
And I was a young guy just coming to the team. And lo and behold, after being with them, training for them about a year, I got a call from Bertil Sinclair, asked me if I could come home and be part of representing the Tobago team, which I humbly obliged, and I did so. And I had some numerous footballers with me, like Ralph Aram Nelson, for who know who that is, of the Defense Force, Ivor Jack, Plep, deceased Plep, may the board rest his soul. Wendell Moore, the now an upcoming youth, he was on the reserve team. And Woodsy, one of our best defenders and midfielders. I played with Tobago team for a couple of seasons, and then I returned to Trinidad, where I went back into Challengers. And in the 80s, Challengers was selected as one of the 8 teams that formed the Premier Soccer League, which is ASL. And most people thought it meant Arthur Sweet League, but it's actually Aviation Services Limited. And we formed the first 8 teams in that league, with alongside of Butchers Ebonites, CCI Falcons, Tonapuna Modniks, I think, San Fernando Strikers, and HAS Cokery United. And we were branded and outlawed by the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association as renegades. So in 1981, when Arthur Sweet launched that league and we played in that league, we were banned from representing Trinidad and Tobago. And the best players in Trinidad and Tobago at that time was playing in the Premier Soccer League.
Well, I'll be remiss if I don't ask you now, what was that about? What was the ban for? Was it just an allegation?
The ban was, according to Jack Warner, we weren't affiliated to the football fraternity. Arthur Sweet did apply for affiliation before he started the league, and we were immediately denied. Right, so there's no way we could represent Trinidad and Tobago because we wanted better football. And Arthur Sweet started Premier Soccer League, which was a professional league, and we were getting paid. The players were getting paid, so people realize now that we're actually going to be paid to play football. I can't remember, but there's 4 other teams that joined.
Is it the ASL? Because didn't they have a team named ASL too?
ASL team was a star-studded team, and to play in the Premier Soccer League at that time, you're coming up against the best, like Ron LaFerre, Novik Dinoon, Stuart Charles, Len, did I say Len LaFerre?
No, you
Spanner.
said Ron.
Right. Len and Ron, Spanner, Leroy Span, Sammy Llewellyn, you know what I mean? John Granville, a goalkeeper, Earl Spider-Man Carter. These were the guys that I had to come up against as a youth. And listen, I didn't shy away from the responsibility. I loved it. But the league was the Premier Soccer League, ASL Premier Soccer League, right? And playing in that league, we played in PSA on Long Circular Road on a Wednesday and on Friday nights. And we used to fill the stadium easy, right? And one of the highlights at that Premier Soccer League was Jumbo the Nutsman. Jumbo used to sit down, stay in the front of the stand, and he used to put the nuts in his hand and just do it like that and send it straight up to you. So he didn't need to come up in the stand. And then you up in the stand now trying to do the same to send your money back to Jumbo, right? And Jumbo made his name in PSA because that was the football. So after the first year of the Premier Soccer League, which was a success, and at the time was the only soccer league that was actually drawing crowds, massive crowd, because we played.
When that league folded, is that when you migrated?
Yeah, I migrated right after that.
What year was that?
I migrated in '86, December of '86.
And did you come into ball now seeing that you was, so when I met you, hold on here. When I met you, when you approached me in Flamington Park to join the IRE team, was it your first team? Was it your first outing to play?
Yes, it was. It was because I asked around and I wanted to know what was happening in the community, whatever community we had here back in Toronto. And one of my my introductions was Black Eagles, they call them All Fours Club with Calvin Hubert and then Calvin and Hubert put me around and tell me I get to touch with Midget. I said, who's Midget? This guy's a midget. Right? He said, no, that's his nickname, right? But then when he said the name Alwyn McGill, then I said, okay, that name ring a bell back in Trinidad and Tobago at national football level. So I sought you out. And when we met, that would become a big joke between me and you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy came to me, I think it was just before the session. I think we trained and we were going to break into a scrimmage. And he came with Mike Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Mike came and said, Midge, I bring this player for you here and stuff, you know. And I said, no problem, right? But when I looked down at his foot, he had on what we call in Trinidad fixed skin. You know, he had no cleats, no boots, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't appropriate for, and it was a wet day. So I turned to him and I said, well, you don't have gears. And this is how I know this gentleman from then on to now. Yeah, I can handle it, man. No worry, man. I can handle it. You know, he was kind of fresh up, and from then we realized that he started blending with the elder heads here, and a lot of us thought it was, you know, what it wasn't. And now he's true to form, and I'm happy to be able to get information from him in one of the oldest organizations here in Toronto. So with that, I would say, how was, playing at our level and how you evolve now into this administrative role with Prontos? So,
Well, my first experience was actually with Irie. And then I played with Irie in the TND. I played in the second division with Irie. And those were some formidable years. I enjoyed the Irie organization because it gave me a sense of family in terms of community, right? And also playing with spoilers, your team in Flemington Park, was another milestone for me because now I looking forward to Flemo on a weekend to come and play because you're coming up against the best team in Toronto, like Diplomats. I can't remember half the other team, but the ball was, you had to be in Flemington Park. And if you didn't play in Flemington Park in Toronto, you didn't play football. Right?
yeah.
And I get to know a lot of people over the years from all different backgrounds in the Caribbean, and some of them are still my very good friends to today. But I've always been somewhat an older person in a younger body. Some people might relate to that. I always relate to older folks a lot more easier than younger people of my age. And hanging with you guys, and you guys were my seniors. And I mean, I came and I had a little chip on my shoulder because, you're young and you tell yourself you're it. But hanging out with you guys and playing with you guys give me a more sense of responsibility and help me chart my path towards just being with playing ball and as a human being. It was a great experience. So as the years go by playing TNA with you guys, I started realizing I needed to do something a little bit more. So I pushed my wings and I get introduced to Brave Soccer Club. I used to watch them, as well as Prontos. But Prontos, and let me just go back a bit, right? I always play with the two teams after I left Irie. I went to Prontos and Braves. And ironically, one used to play on Saturday and one used to play on Sunday. So I was playing with both teams actually. All right. And the Prontos thing was
just let the public know that the Prontos and Braves that he's speaking about, were they competitive at that time, or they were over 35 at that when you joined?
Well, they were basically over 35 team, yes, and they were playing in the more in the old boys league. They call it the old boys league.
So so did you play in the Scarborough League with Braves, or I can't remember you playing competitive with Prontos?
No. Where Prontos was a knockup team, but Braves is the team I used to play with competitively in the Scarborough Old Boys League.
Okay.
All right. And then, or while I was doing that, or just before I started doing that, I had a little stint with the Tobago United, with the name we call them was 2C.
All right, stop
when
right
we formed
there.
2C.
Stop right there. In doing a little research here right now within the last few days, picking up some documentation from my social, I saw your name in Tobago United as the contact person, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 1995 or 96, which kind of shocked me looking at the documentation. So from that long, were you affiliated with Tobago United?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We have to share time now because, ladies and gentlemen, we were dealing with this guy with Prontos. But in doing my research, which I have to continue doing to do this project, I saw his name popped up with Tobago United. In doing the two clips that will be following this featuring part, I found out he was from Tobago, so I think I have to cover that Tobago thing and the Tobago United. And if you want to encompass that, now that you're at Tobago, how you get by this whole Tobago business and how did that happen here?
Well, the funny thing is, there's a couple of guys in the Tobago team that knew me from back home. Right? They remember me playing in Tobago with Invaders. One of those guys is, we call him I Free now, who Mr. Pitt and Bobby Moses and these guys are very familiar with. And they decided they wanted to form 2C. So they contacted me to be part of the 2C organization. I said, listen, I have no problem with that. So we formed 2C, as Mr. Pitt did say in his piece, then we were in the Marvel League. And we played in the Marvel League for a couple of years, and we really enjoyed that Marvel League at Marvel Recreation Ground and Hub Field. So I was part of that administration and playing part of 2C. There's a lot of guys, some of the guys, I don't know where half of them is right now. I know just few of them is, and they make contact from time to time. But as we get older, people just drift away into their own little oasis, right? But I enjoy being in 2C. It brought out the females, the families. Like we have some of the ladies who played with netball with the netball team. But it was an experience playing in the Marvin League with 2C. And then I realized after probably 2 or 3 years that I played with them, I think it's time for me to do something where I could just do a relaxing football. So when I went down to Prontos and I met with Prontos, I love the atmosphere. I love everything that was going on with Prontos, right? And then I decided, you know what? Let me get involved with the guys at Braves, and we were doing Braves, and we're doing the Braves, the Old Boys League, and then Brave were doing the touring to Trinidad, and I did the tour. The first tour that I did with Braves, I went as a spectator. I was in Trinidad as a spectator. And a couple of my friends and Braves used to say, why don't you come and join Braves? And then, you know, we need the help.
Wait, hold on. The people would say, no, maybe I couldn't make the team, you know. So
well, you know what? That is a matter of opinion. Midget, you know, and I know. You've been around a lot of players, right? You've been with Winty Hackett, you've been with Bell, Jamaican Bell, you've been with Johnny Gomez, we talk about Nico, and I ain't tooting my own horn. But I used to play with my pants stick up inside my right leg, and you used to laugh at me. But I was one guy that would actually run with the ball with either foot and could kick it with either foot with maximum power. You could dispute that with me if you want.
No dispute. No dispute.
All right. Right. So
I have to give you what is yours.
Yeah, as much as I think you know, and today you see most players only playing with one foot, and you know, me, I had no problem with either feet, right? And I use that to my advantage. You know what I mean? And I remember playing one game, and I was supposed to.
So all this is to tell me you could have made the Brave team on the tour, or you decided to see if they were good enough to play with them.
Exactly, but the first time I was in Trinidad on business, and Braves was in Trinidad, so I toured with them on there, and I enjoyed it, and I said, you know what? When I came back to Toronto, I joined the team, and I'm still a Brave member to today. Right?
And the management part of Prontos now.
But like I said, when I get to Prontos, it was a Sunday morning football, and I enjoyed it, and I like the line, right? And while I'm there, I get to know the guys at the top, the Wilbur Wrights, the Dennis Howard, the Grant Lee, Perryman, the Batch, the Harold Noriega, the Wayne Noriega, the Chesterfield McLean, the Collymore, the Francis Wungsang, the Bad Lad. And actually, if memory serves me right, Bad Lad is who encouraged me to go into Prontos. and took me down to Prontos. And when I get there with Chesterfield, McLean, and Collymore, I get into the administration thing. So I'm always a club person. I always willing to help somebody because that's the environment I grew up in Tobago, right? It's all about club life, community. We hang out, we do stuff together. You're
So,
not looking for any rewards.
so
It's
let me
just a
ask,
fulfillment of people.
so let me ask you now, seeing that you got so seriously into Prontos and you called Chesterfield and Collymore, and Chesterfield was very instrumental, God rest his soul, with the Prontos. Did you have interaction with them and Collymore before their passing? Or is it that, the sudden passing or whatever put the whole organization in shambles and you had to put the pieces together? Was it a whole transparent transition to you?
Well, yes, in a lot of ways. Collymore passing was a shock to us, Mr. Collymore, Tony Collymore. And it shocked us. I mean, it really shocked us all and everybody. And then we decided that we got to start. So I was involved in getting everything put together in the team and organizing the Sunday games and stuff like that and all that stuff. We had a conversation, myself and Mr. McLean, Chesterfield McLean, that we were going to restart the bus trip to Washington, D.C. Right? We thought about it and we were saying, okay, we're going to start to put it together and stuff like that. And his unfortunate passing shocked us all. And then the members trusted me, most of the senior members trusted me, like, you know what? Based on where we are and who we have here, it seemed like you might be the best man to take the mantle and move forward with it. And I say, but why me? They say, because your focus, your direction is there, and you're no nonsense, right? I said, well, it's not that I'm no nonsense. I'm just practical. If this is white, it is white. If this is blue, this is blue. And this is big men we're dealing with and big women. So let us continue the legacy of this organization, because I want my son and other members, sons and daughters who have grown in, come through this facility to continue this, right? Because this is what the Chesterfields, the Collymore, the Peter Maslin, the Wilbur Wrights, all of them who have passed on would have wanted, right? And it's pleasurable for me. It's tough at times, but I am here for the long haul to make sure that this continues, because you see in one of our assignments coming up, we have one of the best facilities in Toronto, all right? And we want to pass it on to all the younger players or members going forward. So I have no problems with taking the mantle. When they asked me, I said, sure. I said, but I can't do this alone. I need help from everybody. This is not my team. It is Prontos. It's a family organization, right? We come and we meet it, and we should just embrace it and continue building it to go forward.
So you think now, before we go to part 2 and part 3, that, everything is in good hands? Are you getting the support that you need, or you need more support, or in terms of, putting the pieces together and in moving forward?
Yeah, I think the support is there. But as in anything else, you're going to have naysayers. I could deal with that. I have no problem with that. My shoulders, as we say, head broad. I like a duck. You throw water on my back, you run off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they asked me to lead, and I would lead with the support of everybody that I have so far. And whatever support we need going forward, we'll find a way to get it done, all right? But Prontos is here to stay, and we're going to build it forward and build it better.
So are you willing to take me on that trip now to your big clubhouse, a very traditional part of Toronto here, ladies and gentlemen, where to meet you, so you can show me the exact run-ins of how things are right now in.
Meet me at the West Hill Collegiate that we start our season at West Hill Collegiate. So you can see how we start going forward from there and preparing for the next step after that. Hill Collegiate is located at
I would be able to find it, you know, right now. This run happening here at West Hill Collegiate. What happened in terms of you guys being here and not in the University of Toronto grounds, as you normally do over the traditional time?
Well, during the pre-season, this is where we start. So in early March, once the ground become available, because this ground has a very good runoff system, right? So this ground will come earlier, so the school allows us to use here to prep for the university. So what we do, we come here early in the season, we prep until we get our permit for UFT down in the hole. After here, we sing, we camaraderie, we have refreshments like watermelon, water and stuff, and the guys chat a little bit, and then we go down in the hole. And when we get down in the hole, we have what we call another family gathering, where we have with music, we have with food, we have everything layout, which you'll see later on coming up in the other segment, right? And that's been a tradition that I came and meet here with Prontos, from the original guys who started it, and we continuing it, and we're hoping to continue to the future and have the younger generation, like my son and the younger kids, carry on this when we leave.
So
this is a family thing. This is our family thing.
So you're not sweating today?
Well, I am with me sweating today because I came late, and on top of that, I still have a little knee issue. And on my way here, I just got a call that a very close family member of mine just passed away with a massive heart attack in Tobago this morning.
Oh,
So
sorry to hear that.
I was just on the phone with my sister, and then so I say, you know what, I just come and hang out with the guys, because when even if I'm not playing, I still come and make sure everything is running and make sure everybody on point and everybody know what they got to do.
So would you be going down in the hole after?
Well, I will be in the hole later.
All right, so
to make
I'll
sure
kind
that-
of link with you down there.
Yeah,
Then.
no problem. I
All right.
appreciate it.
We are the University of Toronto grounds, Scarborough College here, and this ground have a little history with Prontos. So as the man running Prontos right now, we just came from West Hill. I understand you have a two move, which is from West Hill to the hole, but you guys don't play on this ground anymore. And why is that? And you know, how is that transition from West Hill to the hole?
Well, speaking about not playing here anymore, that is not totally correct. All right. What happens is, because of the pandemic, we have shift gears based on the university accommodation. The university is not renting out the property until this whole pandemic thing is sorted out. So we normally acquire a permit for this every year from the university, and it's well going over 40 years, right? And I came into the club probably about 30 years ago, right? As one of the youngest guys with the Prontos. So my history is basically with that, and knowing that we have this facility here. So normally we will start at West Hill before the permit is available for here. Then we have the permit, we come down here, and we use this playing field that you see behind us.
Right.
Over the years, the university has spent some money and upgraded it, and you see the quality of what you're looking at in the back here, right?
Yeah.
And we have changing facilities. We host teams like home and away with Ottawa, Montreal, and stuff like that. Sometimes we have teams that come up from Trinidad, and they, so we use this ground as a facility. So hence that, now that we finish up there and we come down here now, and we play probably until the second or the third wheel in September, and then we move back up to West Hill and we continue. But we play soccer until the first snowfall. And when I mean the first snowfall, the snow have to fall and actually stay on the ground for us to stop, right? Other than that, we play football right through up on West Hill, and we move around until such, and then we hibernate for the winter, right? But this is basically where our football is. And then we have another section where we actually call the hole, where the entertainment taking part.
Well, that's where we're going to be going now.
We're going to there next, where you see the food, and the guys have the table set up, and the card playing, the political side, the guys sit down. And we still, in the pandemic, we're doing with social distancing, right? everybody fully vaccinated, and we have our chairs and everybody still 6 feet apart, and we're entertaining each other. It's all about, we have so many guys that passed through this hole over the years, right? There's too much to mention, right? They know who they are, who've been to the hole and passed through the hole. On a Sunday, they might remember, hey, I wonder if those guys still in the hole. They could still pass down in the hole and see, oh, them guys hanging out. They could sit down, get a refreshment, either it's a beverage or something to eat, and we have that going on in the hole. Right?
All right, so we're going to remove ourselves to the hole now and complete real history here. Okay, we're here in the hole. Is there a little more timeline in between moving from the field to the hole versus where we just left at Scarborough College?
Yeah, because what happened is a lot of guys stay back and sit down and reminisce on the soccer they play for the day, and then they come down. So most people really come down here by about 4:35. So then we come down, we gather here, and we have the whole park. We even have, the city gave us a porta potty, right? Because one of the things for the years that we have one of the whole will make it so unique, we had the male and female washrooms, which is to my left, through there. You know what I mean?
We're talking bushes here though.
Yeah, we're talking bushes here, right? But the city over the years, they brought bins for us for littering, and they bring us to order party for us, and we really gather here until late at night. Sometimes we leave here at 11, 12 at night. Before it has some guys sit down and play cards and enjoy the atmosphere and stuff like that. So it's a whole family thing. Some of the guys went home to bathe and change to come back because we don't have the facility, as I said, because of the COVID. But once the COVID is done, we really regain that facility, so men would walk with their clothes to bathe and change, and then come out and enjoy the summertime out here.
And I did a quick pass the other day, and it seems like you had ladies doing food. Is that correct?
Yes. Another thing that I didn't mention, I have to give props to, we have a portion of Prontos called the Prontos Ladies, which are the wives and the girlfriends and the daughters and the nieces of, and grandchildren, granddaughters of Prontos members. And they do come out and help prepare the food. We set it up nice. You see in somewhere down the line, and we see all where we set up everything, and we have, it's like your home, and we dine in the park, right? So we do have that, and we even have the ladies as, I hope most of them still have with their Prontos shirt with the logo say Prontos Ladies on it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So wow. Yeah, that's what we do.
What is your actual forte now with Prontos?
Well, the older guys get together and decide they want me to be the director of the club and take the club forward. So we're going to be going forward in maintaining this and doing things to encourage our families to come out and maintain this going forward.
All right. Okay, Mr. Nedd, I want to thank you for giving me this tour of West Hill, the University ground, Scarborough College, and then down in the hole.
All
right.